No Man's Sky is a ridiculously exciting game that's coming up fast, and that's why gameranx wants to bring you 10 things you need to know about No Man's Sky. Number 10, it is a multiplayer game, but it's not an MMO. Players all exist within the same universe, except they're probably going to exist a very long way away from each other. Where you might spawn in this galaxy, your friend might spawn in another. And while yes, you probably could wait for one another to find each other, it would take a little while. And there isn't such thing as matchmaking. But again, it doesn't work in the same way as an MMO. To sort of paraphrase something Sean Murray, which is Hello Games' managing director, said, the game isn't sending you information about what every single player in the universe is doing at the same time. In fact, the game kind of acts as many lobbies and sub-lobbies in which you're kind of part of at any given time. What this does is essentially creates a universe where everybody sort of exists in, but doesn't need to be able to interact with each other at the same time. In fact, in theory, depending on where you pop up when you start playing the game, you could never see another player. And that's kind of the point of No Man's Sky. It's that there are definitely other people out there, but everything is so vast, you're meant to understand that you're not only part of a very large ecosystem with many, many people and beings in it, but you're also alone. Number 9, how the universe works. So the universe is procedurally generated, but there is somewhat of a map, because obviously all of these planets exist in a manner that you should be able to find them, whether another person has already or not. And as players mark discoveries, they have to be able to find them. The map is actually kind of in the shape of a slightly deformed sphere that you can actually watch people make discoveries on as it happens, which will be marked as twinkling stars. There are more than a few galaxies, by the way, and in theory, you could fly in any direction forever, although it's very unlikely you'll ever actually get to nothing. Planets exist in star systems, which obviously orbit around stars, and all planetary and celestial bodies exist at varying sizes. Planets typically are of one biome, which if you're unfamiliar with other games that use biomes, a biome is essentially a type of environment. Like a temperate forest in real life would be a biome in a video game. All the various resources on the planet, such as the water, the land, what it's made up of, mining, etc., it's all there. The universe essentially functions as many different self-contained ecosystems that you have the ability to explore, and the deepness at which you can explore them is pretty staggering. Number 8, the gameplay. As I mentioned, No Man's Sky works as a self-contained universe, and the gameplay is essentially exploration and existence within that universe. Now, what that means is there are various obstacles within the universe. For instance, hostile beings on various planets. There are also space pirates, and the space pirates may attack various convoys or things going on in the universe. If you help the pirates or help the convoy, it creates a different amount of clout, so to speak. If you're in the middle of a fight and a strong affiliation with one of those two exists, you can call on them to sort of help you in a fight. But fighting is not really the focus of the game. You can play the game as a fighter, yes, but you can also play it as an explorer. You can play it as a trader, which by the way could include mining resources on certain planets and then selling them somewhere else for more money than they would be worth nearby. But you can also craft those resources into things that upgrade your suit of armor and even your ship or weapons. Really, the game is pretty unhindered as to what you can do with it, and given the vast expanse that it exists in, I think that it's going to keep us all busy for a very long time. Number 7, the Atlas. What is a strong piece of No Man's Sky's lore, which we are currently not fully aware of, is the Atlas, which is essentially a database. Now, how this slots into the lore of the game, obviously we don't know that yet, but we know basically how it works. When you make a new discovery, you use a beacon to send it to the Atlas. The beacons kind of look like a droid of some kind or some kind of machine, etc. But in essence, they kind of work as a save point in a certain way. When you find a planet, you need to use the beacon in order to upload the data to the Atlas, A, to put your name on the planet, and B, so that others can find the planet as you've seen it. Number 6, space stations. There will be at least one of them in every system, and they essentially work as RPG shops. At least that's how I view it. You can trade resources for units there or purchase a new ship, and essentially engage in functions that are beyond that of a natural ecosystem. There are also more threatening looking space stations that may resemble the Death Star or other things like that you can attack. Now, you can't destroy them, because as I said, every system has at least one space station, so you can't bring that down to 0, but there are other reasons to do so. The developers kind of referred to it as a ship showroom or shop, but they're also a trading post and a necessary part of the game if you have goals other than just wandering. Number 5, ships. As I mentioned in a previous point, there are 4 confirmed classes of ships: fighter, trader, scientist, and explorer. Now bear in mind that does not include the word freighter. There are no freighters, there are only small ships, and as of now, there aren't any plans to include bigger ones. The closest thing to a freighter obviously is a trader. They're a little bulkier and a little slower, but their weapons are heavier. They all have varying levels of hyperdrive, explorers having the best, and all require fuel. Now fuel's expensive, but you can also find resources to make it on planet surfaces. You can also upgrade the ship in various ways, including the hull, the hyperdrive, your laser, plasma, shields, how much cargo space is there, cloaking, etc. Being this is an infinite space simulator, your ship's kind of important, but it can be destroyed, and when it is destroyed, all that stuff is gone. Number 4, player interaction and NPCs. Now before we get into the NPCs, let's talk a bit about movement. When you're not in your ship, you can run, jump, swim, and once you obtain one, use a jetpack. Your inventory includes a multi-tool, your suit, again once you earn it, your jetpack, your units, which are the currency of the game, and whatever resources you collect. Something you'll be happy about with your suit: if you die, your upgrades don't vanish on that, so at least that's a step up from your ship. You do have a built-in flashlight on your suit, which is nice because it will get dark in certain places, and obviously at certain times as well, and you'll be interacting with non-playable characters, specifically 4 NPC races, who all have different personalities. Now they speak different languages, which can be unlocked by finding the monolith of their race. Every monolith unlocks a single word at a time of the alien language, so gradually you will learn the language. That's kind of how language actually works, by slowly learning it. There are also different factions of all these races. As I said earlier, there's space pirates, there's convoys, there's police, and you can gain favor with each of them. But being you can gain favor with each of them, you can also gain disfavor, and aligning with certain ones may cause you to become the enemy of others. Number 3, your weapon / multi-tool. Okay, so the multi-tool is obviously your means to mine elements, but it's also a laser and a sniper type weapon. Now, as you might expect, the multi-tool isn't just going to be able to mine everything immediately, so you'll have to develop it and upgrade it in order to mine certain elements. You can also upgrade the weapon's energy shot, laser beam, plasma grenade, and scan distance. You can build multi-tools by finding blueprints, either just lying around or purchasing them from traders, and whatever you do to a multi-tool is not permanent with death. You get to keep your upgrades, which is very good in my opinion. I have a feeling, given the possibilities of the game, that a lot of people are going to kind of get attached to the things that they do to their various weapons on account that will be unique on at least some level. Number 2, currency. Like I said a couple minutes ago, units are the currency of the game. Obviously you need units because there's an economy around all the things that are necessary for you to do anything. You need ships, you need fuel for the ships, you need multi-tools, and you need to upgrade all of those things. There's also the upgrading of suits, and possibly even more suits for you to buy later, and there are a lot of ways that you can earn units. No Man's Sky is a full $60 game, and though they haven't really said anything about it, there should not be any microtransactions, as it would probably just absolutely enrage people who buy a $60 game that promises them limitless possibilities and then tries to nickel and dime those things. There are other space games that have done similar things, and I don't think the No Man's Sky people want to deal with that. Finally, at number 1, No Man's Sky is a ridiculously sized game, and when I say ridiculously, I mean silly. There are 18 billion, that's right, 18 billion times a billion planets in the game. Now, obviously they didn't go about making all of them themselves, they're procedurally generated. It would be absurd to try to make that many planets in real life, let alone try to make them even look unique in some way. They made several different versions of several different things and created algorithms that combined those things into new things. Now, these planets are actually generated as you discover them, and currently only exist as seeds. If you're a Minecraft player, you know exactly what that means, but if not, it's kind of just a number that tells the computer, okay, generate a planet with this set of criteria. This will result in the use of various biomes, which are kind of archetypes for the environment, to create many unique planets with different types of life on them that kind of all seem different in their own way, because one planet may favor a certain trait over another trait, and the ecosystem that results from that is always going to be different. Essentially, don't ever plan on seeing the entirety of No Man's Sky. You can't. Your life doesn't span the amount of time necessary for you to do that, which in my opinion is actually just extraordinarily cool. What exactly is is the thing that you're looking forward to the most about No Man's Sky? Let's have a discussion about exactly what it is and what things we anticipate about it in the comments now. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button for us. It's a big help. And if you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so because we upload brand new videos every single day of the week, and the best way to see them first is of course the subscription. As always, we thank you so much for watching this video, and we will see you again right here next time on gameranx.